So there's one of the engineers for another company said, Bongi is basically the post box. Yes, I wasn't happy about that. But yeah, he said, I'm the post box. So that's what you are as a document controller. Like everything is just given to you and you just post box. Hello everybody, welcome to Taking the College Route with Bongi. Hello everybody, welcome to Taking the College Route with Bongi. My name is Bongi Kilakhalakhala. I do not know where I get the energy from. But today we are going to be talking about what qualifications you need in order to become a document controller. Now, as you guys know, where I work currently, I started as a document controller, and you know how much I love to talk about something I have experience on, because I do not make mistakes of giving you false information or incorrect information, because this is something that happened. It happened to me. It is my experience, and I was on the pekesa. Okay, the last part was not necessary, but you guys get what I'm trying to say. So I'm basically going to be sharing what happened when I became a document controller, how I became a document controller, basically. Now, how we're going to, I want us to structure this video this way, right? I'm going to tell you the qualifications that I had, right, when I became a document controller, and why I think I was considered for the position, right? So you guys know my story. You guys know me. If you don't know, it means you're new, and that means you need to watch all my other videos before this one. I'm kidding, you can finish watching this one, but you have to go back to the other videos in order to get the context of my career story. Okay, thanks. Now, you guys know that I studied at a TVET college, and I did NCV level 1, 2, level 2, 3, and 4, right? And level 4 is NQF4, right? So that's one qualification I had. You guys also know that I did my trade test, MQA trade test, which was supposed to be for 18 months, but ended up being 3 years, which was a bliss. I loved every part of it. It gave me more experience, and it taught me a lot about life in general, or about the working field. Okay, I'm trying not to be all over the place here. But yeah, you guys know that I was on a learnership that was supposed to be 18 months, but ended up being 3 years. That was my apprenticeship in, and at the end of it, I got a trade test, which is electrical, low, medium, and high voltage. Excuse me. You guys know this. Now, those are the two qualifications I had: the NQF4, which is NCV level 4, and the trade test, which is on low, medium, and high voltage. High. I think it's low and medium voltage. No, it's medium and high voltage. Hey, guys. Hey. The trade test. The certificates. Oh my god, okay. So yeah, I had these two qualifications. Thirdly, I had experience in document control, where I worked. So we had this project. I used to work for Enzani Technologies, and they had a project at a wastewater treatment plant. I was hired there as a semi-skilled electrician because I was not qualified as an electrician yet. So I was hired as a semi-skilled electrician there. I worked, but because you know, when you are semi-skilled, you're sort of a learner, so you have to do everything that you are asked to do. I remember my project manager used to say, Bongi will do it. What? You need quantity surveying to be done so that you get someone to report. Bongi will do it. Bongi will do it. So the same thing happened when one of our in the company at large, one of our document controllers went on maternity leave. It was a different project, right? So we only had two. The whole company only had two document controllers. So our document controller, which was the one at our project, needed to go and fill in for that document controller that went on maternity leave. And that way I become an acting document controller, which I did for about 4 months. I included that on my CV because I was very much involved. And so she would come, our document controller would come and be on our side for like 2 days a week or 1 day a week, but most of the time she was on the other project because I think that project was bigger or it was almost finished. I do not remember what the reason was, but she spent most of her time there than in our project. So I felt like the document controller for about 4 months. I was enthusiastic about what I did and I learned a lot. So I included it on my CV and I did share. I'm telling you about this because I did share the experience during my interview. I did share about that experience on my interview. So I don't want to say to you with grade 12, you can be a document controller. I think in engineering, you do need to have an engineering qualification. Like I told you, I had electrical infrastructure and construction. That was my NCV level. I don't think I told you, but the NCV level 4 was electrical infrastructure and construction, right? And then the trade test was also electrical. So in order to become a document controller in engineering or in an electrical engineering company, you do need to have an engineering some sort of engineering qualification. Now, if you have been hired at a company and you did not have an engineering qualification, like you did not have maybe N6 in electrical engineering, or you did not have like any kind of qualification in electrical, like, okay, let's say you had grade 12 and you were hired, please comment down below. I'm just talking about what happened with me. I'm not saying you will not be hired if you only have grade 12, but I know nothing about that. But then I know we also need to consider that there are technical high schools, and which probably would be an advantage, and maybe you could be hired as a document controller. Anyway, what I'm telling you is I believe that I still would have been hired as a document controller if I had just my NQF4 in electrical infrastructure and construction, because that was an engineering qualification. It means I have an idea or I have like the basics in engineering. I do know the basics in engineering, so I do not have to be taught everything from scratch. Like we can just, I would be easy to train basically. Let me tell you what a document controller does. So when you're a document controller, all the documentation of the project goes through you. So the engineer, the project manager, and the site manager will communicate with the client directly, or that's if your company does not have like a project management department. So your engineer and the site manager will communicate to the client directly. But everything that is a document for the project, for that particular project, will go through you as a document controller. They will do drawings, they will make changes on their drawings, they will give them to you after that, and you have to send them to the client. The reason they have to do that is because some companies are complicated. They have document control departments and they have systems there that would really be time consuming for an engineer. An engineer still has other things that they need to do, so it is wise for every company to have a document controller who can just, if you have to do it on if you have to do a transmitter, like everything to do with the paperwork of the project, you do. So you do files, production files. Production files are the files where that you prepare, that have your drawings and everything that needs to be designed, and the material that needs to be used on that particular project. Everything that needs to be designed, the material, the schedule, all of this is done by the engineer. They just give it to you. You create a file, which is a production file. So I created mechanical production files, I created electrical production files. So the mechanical part is where you build the panel from scratch. You take, I'm gonna say Amazink, but you take the material and put the panel together, right, and make the enclosure. That's our mechanical department. So I had to make a file for them to say, okay, these are the dimensions that you need to use, these are the sizes, these are the measurements, this is the material that's going to be used, this is by this time you need to be finished. You do that and you give it to the planning department. They put everything together, they plan, and then they give the production. Production is your mechanical production side, right? And they start the work. Now with electrical, we also have, so my company has an electrical has a mechanical factory that is separate from the electrical factory. So after the mechanical factory is done, they deliver everything to the electrical factory. So you have to make two separate files for both factories. So I had to make the mechanical one and the electrical one. It also includes what the electrical factory needs to do on this particular project. They get all that information from a file, and if anything is missing, they go to the engineer, but that has nothing to do with you. So and then you keep on sending everything to do with documents. Like the engineer will do a schedule, and that schedule they will give to you. You will be sending it to the client. If they have like a portal, you send it via that portal, you submit it via the portal. Now progress reports as well, the engineer would do the progress report. You just take everything, do a transmittal. If you do a transmittal, you submit it on the portal, and you do submission. So throughout the project, there's one of the engineers for another company said Bongi is basically the post box. Yes, I wasn't happy about that, but yeah, he said I'm the post box. So that's what you are as a document controller. Like everything is just given to you, and you just post box. Yo guys, I was so hurt when he said this. An engineer called me a post box. I think this should be part of my title of the caption of this video. Anyway guys, let me not say a lot because this is it. Like I said, please comment down below if you were ever hired as a document controller and you did not have the qualifications I have. Please tell us what qualifications you had when you were hired as a document controller. If you are a document controller currently, tell us what qualifications you had. And thank you so much for taking time to watch this video. From me to you, it is right now, it is goodbye. I will see you on my next video. Take care.